We're going to be going live. We're going to attempt to go live on Facebook. We're not sure it will allow us, but if it does, we promise to treat it properly. Colton, go sit in the corner. Are we good? Are we live on Facebook yet? We're good? We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, how to actually set up your trading layout properly. It's a huge deal, yet nobody knows or nobody actually goes out and teaches you exactly how to do it, and even more importantly, teach you why you have to do it. We're going to cover all that and more, as well as show you my trading layout, as well as my monitor setup, and how you can optimize yours. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. Today, we're going to talk about how to set up your trading layout properly. It is a very important thing. And you know what? In my field, we're so used to having people come to us and say, whatever you're used to is best for you at the end of the day. Hint, no, it is not. How does somebody actually determine how to set up a trading layout properly? It's not like this isn't a matter of opinion. It's not like my favorite color is blue, your favorite color is green, her favorite color is purple, his favorite color is pink, that her favorite color is orange. It's not a matter of opinion of what you like and what you're used to is best for you at the end of the day. In fact, 99% of the time or more, just about 100% sure to people who I've met, I have found that I can optimize their own trading layout in a way that they would actually like to do so better. It's kind of funny if we took you back to the first book we did at T3 back in, what was it, 2008 or 9, Scalping for a Living. We actually discussed, there was a full chapter based on how to set up your trading layout properly. It was very important. Now, in terms of qualifications, we're going to talk about some things today. In terms of qualifications, I'm an ex-pro gamer, and I'm going to tell you why that overqualifies me to help you in this one situation here, because we're going to be going over this. We're going to talk about what is and learn to score the lowest A.P.E possible. Why A.P.E is important. Of course, we're going to discuss what it is. We're going to show you my 4-monitor setup, what is actually there. We're going to share with you my trading layout. And then we're going to talk about how to optimize your system regardless if you are using the same brokerage as me or not. See, the whole point is when I was an ex-professional StarCraft player, it wasn't actually called A.P.E, it was actually called A.P.M, which is short for actions per minute. They have found that the best StarCraft players in the world, when needed to, would have the highest actions per minute. So anything that you would do on a keyboard, any button you would press, any movement in a different direction with your mouse, a click on your mouse, another hit on the keyboard, all of those determine how many actions per minute that you are actually doing. And they actually rate it on the internet. Like if you go to Google and you write off, like, I'm sure you could do it right now and just type in, StarCraft players APMs. They'll talk about some insane APMs. My APMs in the midst of a battle were actually sometimes spiking over 500. So if you think about that, what does 500 APMs mean, and why did that, qualify me for a professional gamer? I wasn't averaging 500, but during a fight, I was basically doing 8.3 actions a second. So every single second, I was in the midst of moving my mouse either in 8 different directions in combinations with clicking on the mouse, in combinations with pressing things on the keyboard. I was like a machine, like so quickly. And that's what APM is. Now, APE is the most important thing when it actually comes to doing a trading layout. So what does APE stand for? It stands, and I'm coining the term, I'm inventing the term, it's nowhere where I saw on the internet. It's actually called actions per execution. So basically, if you wanted to right now, go ahead and you wanted to, for just random example, um, buy, buy 1,000 shares of Facebook, how many ape would it actually take you? How many actions to actually do that execution? So just moving my mug right here. So if I actually wanted to do Facebook, I would have to left click, that's one on this box, type in FB, enter, and I'm going to tell you why this is important, and followed by pulling my mouse down right here and clicking this, basically 5, and I would just go ahead and I would click buy, smart. It's already set on market order. I don't need to change it. It's set for 1,000 shares. If I need to change the shares, it would be more actions per execution, but it's preset generally with a number I want, and I could do it relatively fast. And even though I spelled it out slow, for example, if I had to buy 1,000 shares of Microsoft, it would look something like this. Click, I'm in. I just bought 1,000 shares of Microsoft on the offer. Now, again, it doesn't matter that it's 1,000 shares or 10,000 shares or 100 shares or 1 share. You can obviously preset it for what you want. So we're going to first go and we're going to go into the first section of this discussion here. We're going to talk what is and how to learn to score the lowest actions per execution. And you're going to learn that no matter what software you're actually using out there, that you need to have as few actions as possible to get your desired outcome. So, for most traders who are old school, how many people out there, if you want to cancel all your orders, you hit the escape key? Who do you think invented that? Who do you think invented that? Who do you think was working with these trading softwares over the years to help put the escape key as cancel all pending orders? How many people out there use the escape key to cancel all pending orders? So that was something that I taught everybody from the Terminator software, which was Sonic Trading's old platform. Level 2, I think, was from Tradescape. Was that the one? Terminator? No, Terminator was Sonic Trading's platform, and I think it was like level 2. And then, of course, I introduced it to Lightspeed, people who are doing their layouts on Lightspeed, and a lot of them adapted that as the actual standard for canceling orders, and it was all done with yours truly. I've worked with several major companies. I don't want to drop the names, but I'm using one of the companies that I helped develop the software for because they knew the importance of speed. And again, I did this for free. I did it for free to help myself. And what they did in turn was use this as a base establishment to do things. Before that, when during the SOS Bandit days, people would use Shift B to buy and Shift S to sell. How many people have ever used Shift B to buy and Shift S to sell? Now, it used to just be B to buy and S to sell, and then I basically came and said that a trader should hold the shift button because they would get messed up. It used to be that you had to click on the symbol of the box, type in the name, and then click just down on the box to hit B to buy something. Yours truly helped design that platform. So what I'm really trying, I'm not here boasting about the $0 I made helping design platforms over time. I'm actually here today to actually help you design your platform in a way that would maximize your speed, lower your APE as low as possible, and help you, of course, become a quicker and better trader. So to score the lowest APE, the first thing we have to do is we have to really talk about what you do and who you talk to. You're going to have to probably, and if you didn't master your software, did you know that all these softwares out there come with like either physical manuals back in the day or e-manuals that are huge? It's like how to use our software, and you read like some 200-page guide. Hint, I don't know anybody who read it. I remember when I was working with some of these firms and they would send me this book. They would send me the book and it was like the user manual and they're like, help us do it. And I'm like, no. I'm going to talk to one of your developers on the phone, and I'm going to do it like that. So nobody really likes to read the manuals. And in fact, if you're listening to this, you probably have not read a manual for any of these things. So it's very important to do these things. So, for example, when there's breaking news, for example, and let's say, for example, I'll show you why this is so important. Let's say a headline comes out and it's positive for the U.S.-China trade war. We're getting a new headline every day, for example. So again, this is my Schwab layout. If you are interested in it, people who are Newsbeat Live members only, T3 does offer my exact layout for you, but I'm here to help you whether you're using my layout or not. I'm trying to show you that it's really ultimately irrelevant what layout you use as long as you could follow the things I'm telling you. And then we're going to show you my 4 monitor setup, what is there, how you psychologically put things in the right order, because where you put things are very important. Nobody talks about it because it's not really considered a sexy topic. Imagine that you come to me and I'm, big broker A and you are customer client B, and you come to me with money and say, I want to open up an account. And I say, okay, um, it's very important that you set up your trading software properly to get the best A possible. And you'll be like, what? No, I don't think so, right? So I understand that it's not the sexiest topic in the world for a lot of the retail and brokers who want to do long-term trading. Look, if you're just sitting there with a long-term swing account, it doesn't matter how fast you act. You could do market on close orders. You could take your time and set up your order. You might as well go on Robinhood if that is your case and get free commissions and not even waste your time. This is going to optimize the active intraday trader. That is the only thing that trading layouts are important for. And they give you a lot of custom ability to customize it. So let's say, for example, we're the Newsbeat room. We get news, we get breaking news, we report it before the majority of Wall Street. And let's say a news headline comes out, and I'm going to make it up, that, President Trump and President Xi met, and they're going to be reducing tariffs on each end, and they come to some form of amicable agreement, and they're going to be discussing further tariffs in the future. So bullish Chinese news. So the first thing you want to do is potentially go ahead and buy some Chinese stock, for example, right? Like you need to act quick. So, the market is moving and you have to react. You even saw today some of the, on any given day, today doesn't matter. Any given day, like some of these stocks can actually move on any news. And again, I'm making the news up. It could be any news whatsoever that will make you want to react. But let's say there's something bullish that will come for Chinese names. Let me ask you, how quickly would you be able to buy a company? And this is where the actions per execution come in place. So watch this. One left click, BABA, enter. That's 6 so far. And I go over and I click buy to open. And what I just did was I bought $170 calls, weekly expirations on a market order, and I bought 100 of them. It took me 2 seconds. Let's say you wanted to buy the Chinese Google, Baidu, real quick because some breaking news came out. Baidu, click, I'm in. How fast is that? Does your system allow you to do that? I'm telling you that that is a very important thing because people who are fumbling on their fingers, people who are not going to be able to react that fast to the news, are going to be losing millions of dollars over time. Millions, millions and millions of dollars over time. Let's say, for example, there's Facebook comes out and they're like, we finally got, our cryptocurrency, our Libra approved in every single Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, everybody's accepting it. And you get the headline, you get it early, and now you're in a panic. You don't know what to do. You're sitting there. You're trying to find the F on your keyboard and the B. And if you're like me, even though I was on a computer since I was 5 years old, I still have to look down when I type. So you're just going there and you're like, oh, let's see, F, B, enter, click, I'm in. It's that simple. Let's say there was Netflix. Let's say, you know, Disney Plus is going out of business and Roku's going out of business and everyone's going to Netflix. Just, I'm making up silly headlines just to give you a rough example here. How fast would you be able to buy Netflix? Let's say I wanted to buy some shares of Netflix. NFLX, enter, click, I'm in. I just bought 1,000 shares market. That is the power And that is why the ape is so important, because it's going to allow you to react. Let's say, you have a take profit level somewhere, but all of a sudden you're holding, let's say you're holding Facebook, and then news comes out that Congress wants to start putting, anti-social media measures out there. And it's going to be negative for all the social media sites, but you're long Facebook, you bought it, and you need to sell out immediately. How do you quickly get out of it? I have to go and cancel my limit order, and then go and click in and write in the right order while Facebook is just nosediving down. Somebody like me, as soon as that news comes out, I'm out. I could just click one button, boom, I'm out of it. I'm out. And that's why it's set up like this. I bought with a market order right here. I could just sell it right over here, right next to each other. I can easily cancel my order quickly, and I'm out of the trade. You should be able to react quickly and flawlessly. That is, ladies and gentlemen, the importance of the ape. And then I'm going to tell you how you could do it with other softwares as well, even on softwares I haven't seen. And you can actually decide at that point if the software you're utilizing is actually right for you. So many people have been asking me, Mark, I want to see your monitor setup. What are you actually looking at? Your head's moving, this. I'm always looking around. What is your monitor setup, actually look like? And I'm going to share that with you today. And it's actually like this is where I'm working, like right now. This is where I'm working. And I'm actually going to talk about the structure. I'm going to actually talk about the structure of the entire thing, why it's super important here, what these monitors mean, what these charts mean. And you can see I have the Newsbeat live room in the top right hand side. I have my trading platform on the bottom left hand side. That's actually done very intentionally, as opposed to some people think you have to line it up like this. No. Here's the thing. If I'm looking at my software, right over here, like right over here is my software. We'll just label that one, and we actually have a very nice look for you here. I could just quickly move up or down. If I go in either direction, I'll be looking at my charts up here or my charts over here, right? That is the importance of doing that. So I want to go over my layout right now and actually just show you some of the things here. I did take the liberty of blocking out my account information. I don't know what you could or could not do with it, but for the sakes of this video, um, you don't really need my account number. And you could just see right over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go through all the numbers. Number 1 is just very simply the trading platform I just showed you. It's optimized. Now, let me talk about step number 1 first. And here's the trade. I'm just dragging it over so you can see it right now. And let me show you the importance of this platform. Now, first of all, I have a little chart right here. The reason is you want as many charts as possible so you can quickly look and analyze things in a real-time basis. It's very important. So for example, if I went ahead and clicked in Apple right here, or I clicked in Facebook, you could see on the top right that the chart is actually constantly moving. So you see like Facebook in the top hand corner, I type in Netflix, it turns into Netflix. I type in Apple, I type in Macy's, I type in Berkshire, and Hathaway, B shares, anything that I want will actually pop up immediately. And the next thing is I have these linked over here. So I'm always ready to react to something on the option side. So my bottom left corner right over here, the first box you see on the bottom left is actually just common stock. There are tabs where I could change it. I just leave it on common stock. It's always set for smart venue. Always I leave it just generally set on a market order, and I could buy and sell easily. So let's say if I were to buy something and I wanted to piece it out on a limit, I could just literally change it right over here. Just click it down and change it to limit. If I click on the level 2, you see the price changes. You see this limit price right here. Watch it change as I click different numbers. I could also type it in if I wanted. I could type it in, or I could use these arrows. So I'm giving myself a multitude of ways to change the price. That's going to help me not have any issues doing it. As opposed to having just a pigeonhole way of doing it, I'm actually giving myself a multitude of ways to actually do it. And the same thing actually applies to the option side. So the bottom left box right here that you could see is actually common stock. The middle will be calls. And again, I could preset it on any expiration that I want. I mean, I generally have it set for, either the weekly, the first week's calls, or rarely next week's calls, sometimes on a Thursday or Friday. I have enough buying power where I don't need to get cheap options. I would just rather do it next week. To me, the percentage return doesn't matter. I don't care if my weekly calls would have paid 300%. If my next week's calls paid 150%, like that won't bother me, because I'll make the same amount of money. It'll just cost me a little more to make it on next week's expiration, and I won't bleed time value. Not turning this into an options class here, but let's say there's positive Facebook news, and I wanted to buy 100 options real quick. As soon as I type in FB, it stays on the expiration I left it on, which if it's hard to see, it says October 18th. It's pulled up immediately the 180 strikes because the stock closed at 179.68, and I set it for my preferential purposes of buying the first strike out of the money. It's set on a market order. I have it preset as I do on my system for 100 contracts, and I just simply click buy to open here, and it will throw in a market order to buy 100 option contracts, or the equivalency of 10,000 shares. Let's say there was negative news on Facebook. Automatically, the puts are in this box right here. 177 and a half puts are the first puts out of the money. There are no 179, 178 puts, as you could see right here in Facebook. The 177 and a half put is the first put out of the money. I simply go ahead and I click buy to open, and it sends out a market order through the system to buy 100 contracts. And again, you could preset your number for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 200 or 500. Schwab gives phenomenal price improvement on the options. One of the best I've seen in the industry. Probably the best I've seen in the industry, actually. The best I've seen when it comes to option price improvement. What does that mean, price improvement? Well, like for example, you'll see there's a bid here at $1.21 by $1.29. I mean, I can't, the market is, not moving. It's closed now, as I'm obviously showing you this example. But if I were to just go ahead and throw in a market order on Facebook, like a lot of times I would get filled at like $1.23 or $1.25. It wouldn't always go to $1.29. In fact, in a situation like this, it probably wouldn't even get there. And that's what I mean by price improvement. So no matter what I type, whether it's good news or bad news, let's say it was Amazon, let's say something happened on Amazon that's bullish, boom, I type in Amazon, click, I already bought 100 of the $1,735 calls, set any expiration you want. You could preset it however you would like and would automatically buy it. Let's say it was negative news on Amazon. The first out of the money put is the 1732 and a half put. I just click right here. So immediately I can react the same way with the same speed on positive news or negative news if I have to load in some calls or load in some puts. Or if I wanted to do common stock, I could buy right here or short right here. Either way, it's good for options and common stock. It gives me the accessibility that I need, and it's, as you can see, lightning quick. So like Microsoft again, boom, I could buy right here, 1,000 shares market. I could short right here, 1,000 shares market. I could buy 100 options market on the order, 138 calls, which is the first option out of the money for Schwab, or boom, I could buy 100 of the 137 puts on market, which is the first put out of the money. So that is the benefit. Also, keep in mind the way my system is laid out, I could just look up right over here and I get a quick look, and I have it set for a 5-minute chart right here. You could set it any way you want. It doesn't really matter. For me, I don't really use this chart often. It's just more of a visual thing that I could just visually see. I'm actually not clicking on this chart using it. I'm actually using my other charts, but I still want the visual reference to make sure that I'm doing what I'm doing. So if I type in, a stock, no matter what stock it is, let's say I type in Goldman Sachs, I could see that it's pulling down here real quick, and I don't even need to see the level. I'm already looking at it on another screen. And of course, we'll go to that right now. So keep in mind, everything I showed you on the trading platform is happening right over here. This is where the magic happens on screen one. And check it out. If my eyes just move a little up, I see the chart of the stock. If I look up more, I could see my 9 chart set up with a lot of details. If I look a little bit to the right, I can see the chart pulled up right away, linked through. I could look at exactly what I'm trading at that time. And if I look up a little more, I will see the Newsbeat live room. And I will have access to see the Newsbeat live room, answer questions, etc. Now, this is, a little interesting because obviously not everyone here is running the Newsbeat live room. In fact, none of you are, with the exception of me. So in this top right box here, where I have number 4, I'll just remove my face for the time being. On the top right box here, where I have number 4, you could put your news charts up. You can minimize the Newsbeat live room. You could basically see, actually you can't see, but this is actually off of my browser, and I have a lot of tabs there, so you could change the tabs. You could use that, that quote unquote screen real estate however you would like. Also, monitor 3 is what I share with the Newsbeat live room. That allows me to focus in on a stock. So if a trader wants an answer, and this is something that, since I'm sharing with you my layout and everything that I do, this part is obviously not important for you. But if you want to know how I, answer you guys in stocks real quick, I can just jump anywhere. I could just jump anywhere at any time and just share that chart with you and type in the symbols no matter what you're watching. It's actually lightning quick. So going back to it, that's my 4 monitor setup. And of course, this is visually if you were standing at the end of my room where I trade here, my little soundproof office space. As you can see, I have a G910 a G910 keyboard right here. I have a HyperX. Let me use white color here. So, um, whoops, there we go. You can see right over here. I have that's all ugly. Okay, here we go. You can see right here I have a G910 keyboard. Right over there I have a HyperX headset, which I'm talking to you right now. This is my HyperX headset. I find it very good. They're all gaming things. Right over here, I have my mouse, and that's a G502 Logitech mouse. These 4 monitors, if you're wondering what they are Asus monitors. They're the big Asus monitors. I forgot the largest Asus, what are they, 26-inch, whatever, Asus monitors. I bought them off Amazon, to be honest, and there was like a great deal, like long not that long, like years ago, like a few years ago, and I paid like $220 a monitor when they were like on sale from like 350. I'm sure they're better and cheaper today as technology always goes down. This is the thing that has to support my big butt. That's my gaming chair right there. Right over here, I have just keep my little notebook right there with the pen, as you could see. That's either vodka or water. I will let you be that judge. Ooh, feel all warm inside. Okay, going back here. Here's a picture of my 2 sons. Always keep them by me, and this is very important. Don't underestimate that. That might be, it has nothing to do with whether or not they're your children or not. But I have 2 pictures of both my sons because they make me happy. You have to surround things around you that make you happy. So if you look behind me, I have David W.'s photos. Best photographer. I've seen thousands of photographers work. Best photographer I've ever seen in my life. Every time I look at those pictures, I become happy. Pictures of my kids. I got a little daddy in me here from when my son was young, and me going ahead and kissing the forehead of one of my sons. I keep those near me. And it's very, very important to keep these things near you. Things that make you happy. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care. I don't care if it's a banana at your desk that makes you smile. Whatever makes you happy. I have, of course, my magic cards here that make me happy. And oh, stress, stress, stress. You know, trading's a stressful job. This is actually very expensive. These are one of the more expensive ones. They're like the high grade. These are actual medical ones for people who are, need to fix their grip strength after like God forbid, like a stroke or something, they're trying to regain their arm strength. So it's actually like professional grade. And oh, does that it's better than punching a hole in the wall. And I just also wanted to mention, right over here, um, I'll make the color green. Right over here is a power surge supplier. It's a cyber power. It's called cyber power, and it's a backup, runs for 2 hours, wouldn't hold my system that long too well. But what it does is I have an outside generator, which I cannot show you with this screenshot, which basically will turn on after 10 seconds if the power goes out. So this little power generator in green right here keeps me up, tries to keep me as connected as possible to the Newsbeat live room. Got a little fan remote there. Again, this is Fujitsu, completely silent, perfect for broadcasting. It's actually right above me. It actually cost me a boat ton of money, that thing that you see up there. Very common. A lot of houses have it, but there's like some silencing mechanism. So it's like a high-end silencing mechanism one, and I have the little remote here. Have it set on 68 degrees. Normally it's set on 72. So I have temperature control at all times. So just thought I would share with you like what's around me. Always have a box of tissues near you at any time for whatever obvious reasons. I mean, always have tissues near you. Always have some water near you. And if you're a nerd like I am, always keep a Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition arcade machine next to you, especially if you're an ex-world champion in it. Honestly, I almost never turn it on, but it makes me happy when I see it. That's why it's actually in the room. You should surround yourself with things that make you happy. I don't care what it is. For me, it's photos, whether they're David W.'s work, which is, I know the glare from the screen is coming off, which is phenomenal. Whether it's, my children's work, my children's photos, whether it's some stupid magic cards, whether it's a stupid nerdy video game. Be happy. Keep happy things around you. One thing you will not see is me friends with my exes on Facebook. Don't keep your ex partners on Facebook. Whatever you do, please do not keep your ex partners on Facebook if you can avoid it. Don't be sitting there looking at Facebook wondering who your ex partner is dating next and things that would probably upset you. I have a very key rule in my life that has served me very well. And this is so important for your setup because it shows you the mentality of how to really get in the zone here. Just literally eliminate, if you can, as much if you see something and it upsets you, try your best to eliminate it. Don't try to get comfortable around it. Just try to eliminate it in terms of I'm just gonna, here's my ex, you know, my ex-husbands, my ex-wives, my ex partners, my ex-boyfriend, my ex-girlfriend, my ex this, my ex-neighbor that was a real expletive word to me. Literally just block them out, unfriend them. Believe me, you are going to be so much happier. Okay, so I shared my four monitor setup, what is there, why it's there. I'm not going to go fully into the science of why moving your eyes up or to the right is important, but I did find it scientifically very feasible, again, to put my monitors in a situation where if I'm trading right over if I'm trading, for example, right over here, if I'm trading on this monitor right over here, I want to be able to see charts either directly on that screen, above me, or to the right of me. I think that is a very important thing. Now I want to talk about how to optimize your system. I shared with you my trading layout. I actually shared with you where I could get it. What a great company, right? What a great company T3 is that they will actually share a Charles Schwab layout to help traders to help traders, set it up the way I do. Really great stuff. But again, you don't have to set it up the way I do. You know what's important. Now, how do you get to the next step? How do you optimize your system? So, for example, I'm going to make it up. Let's say I've never logged in Interactive Brokers before. I don't have an Interactive Broker account. I think I looked at it. I saw someone log in. I vomited on their keyboard. I had to buy them a new keyboard. And I got sick for a week after I saw someone try to log in Interactive Brokers. It is the stupidest, most complex thing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm sure it's simple and easy for a lot of you. So let's go ahead. So what you do is you just simply go to Google here. Look, again, simply type in Interactive Brokers Customer Support. You have a phone number here, service chat. Let's see, you could go, live chat. Do they have a live chat? Here, let's see, chat, Interactive Brokers, chat room. I'm not going to go in the chat room and start asking him questions, but here's the bottom line. What all these brokerages do, whether it's Interactive Brokers, whether it's Schwab, a TD Ameritrade, whatever it is, a Fusion, et cetera, no matter what it is, what is common about every single software out there is you'll have somebody who helps you. So what I would do is I would say to somebody, for example, let's say you didn't want to use Schwab for whatever reason. Let's say you wanted to use an Interactive Brokers. Like you would have to go to them and say, okay, how can I do it where I type in a symbol and all my option windows populate ready with an order to buy? Is that possible? What is the quickest way I could buy an option contract on Interactive Brokers? What's the quickest way I could sell? How do I do it with as few actions as possible? How do I accomplish it? Another question to ask would be, how do I set up hotkeys? Can I press a button? If I'm on a stock, can I press one button or shift in one button that will actually allow me to buy a preset number of option contracts or a preset number of shares or whatever it is? You need to ask, and don't forget those questions are very important because I don't know how to log in Interactive Brokers. Like, if you stuck me on an island for my entire life, you'd find like a skeleton of me like 300 years later with the login screen of Interactive Brokers in front of you. It's like, yeah, he was a good Melnick. He couldn't get past that step. That is exactly what happens. And again, I see people in the room who are um, far better at me than programming these things. Like I see your name in the room. I know that you could set up your Interactive Brokers like a champion. I don't know if those people are willing to help you. I can't volunteer their services for you, but I will tell you that you should call them up and ask for the quickest, easiest way possible. And if they say they don't know how to, get someone else on the phone. What I have realized is that these brokers tend to be extremely helpful. These brokers tend to be very, very, they'll set up a meeting with you, they'll help you, they'll set up your whatever. You could call them probably at any time of day to help, and it will be, very effective for whatever trading platform you're on. You have to make sure you ask these questions. You have to make sure whatever platform you're using that you could relatively do what I showed you. Like if I need to buy something, should be able to just type it in fast. And click a button and be able to go through some of the things that I would never do. I can't, tell you what to do is I would never have a trade confirmation window on, meaning, are you sure you want to do this trade? That slows people down amazingly. I know that is removable on all systems out there that I've seen. Um, Definitely try to optimize your speed because when it comes to being an intraday trader, news things can come out at any time, which will have a huge negative effect on your P&L if you cannot react to the situation in a phenomenally time-like manner. Keep in mind that robots are buying and selling very quickly. They're not going to give you a chance to do what you want to do, and you're going to have to really react at lightning speed. And the traders who can react at lightning speed, they're definitely putting themselves in the best situation to take advantage of the market. I hope you guys enjoyed the how to set your trading system up like a true professional. If you enjoyed this video, thumbs it up, share it with your friends. If you're interested in anything that I have to offer in the Newsbeat live room, there are links in the description. Happy trading, make money. I hope to see you soon on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.